Is it turned on? Is it plugged in? Do I know what I'm doing? The stream is starting in 8 minutes. Oh my god!
Can you hear stuff?
Yes. It's going to be an awesome church service, Sophia. It's working.
That's great.
Let me look. See if I can get some extra credit. Even way more than I thought I was going to be able to do.
I gave you some of yesterday. What are you thinking?
Thinking about trying to get, um, so I can show graphics.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, do I want to do video? And then I'm like, you know what? This works. Service is about to start.
So what do you
I'll
have?
mess with it.
What do you have your graphics coming in from?
So someone had set up, I assume it was you, this slideshow.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just using that.
Right, but what on what?
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, Google Slides, yeah, not ProPresenter. Only because I had preconceived notions of what I was gonna do there, and then you exploded my brain, and I started to think about it differently. So, yeah, I have that. Yeah, I think, I mean, everything else I think is pretty, I guess would be.
So you figured out how to take the icons off.
What?
That's good.
Oh, the
Camera.
camera icons? Yeah, that was sneaky.
That is sneaky. You don't realize how to do that until it's done.
Yeah, well, and adjusting the mic level on the camera wasn't really intuitive. Honestly, this was the easiest part.
Well, yeah, that's the goal.
And this, pretty straightforward. Audio is like, just, I don't know, I just sort of feel like,
So yeah, now we can get video, audio into your screen.
yeah, like, well, I mean, ideally I would have an audio interface. So, not only would I have something like this, I would have an audio interface, I would bring everything through the audio interface. I'd probably mix it in software if I could choose, because that's what I'm familiar with.
You'd mix audio and software?
Yeah, and like route everything into ProPresenter, and then ProPresenter would be the last thing before I send it into the Boxcast. That's kind of how I was.
And how do you have your monitor set up?
The monitor's set up, how do I have the monitor set up? Just plugging stuff in.
Like, are you thinking this would be like your audience screen?
Oh, this?
Or what would it be?
Yeah, so this was my like,
Or this
this is
is your
what you'd
preview.
see. No, this is what you'd see if you were like in like the booth.
In the
you know?
booth, okay.
Yeah, like, I didn't wanna use this.
Have you tried to enlarge it?
No. In my head, I was like, well, I don't know if the Boxcasters are like always there in front of you. And if they're not, like, I gotta be able to see what's going on, so I just assumed like I would want some sort of monitoring solution, and that's kind of what that was used for.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess what I didn't do enough of prior to this was thinking about the architecture, all the signals and everything else, and how I want everything to flow. Now that I've played with it, I mean, first of all, I would clean up these cables, because it's just like, it hurts my soul to look
Cable
at.
management is important.
Yeah, like, big problem, like,
It's hard as anything.
even, because I'm like, oh, if you guys like sit here and I like record you, like, that mic cable's not long enough, but I didn't give myself enough slack, you know what I mean? It's just like, real pain in the ass.
I'm gonna ask you reflection questions too. I was just
Yeah.
curious how we have it set up.
But I mean, we're streaming, it's on YouTube.
Ahoy!
Hey,
Hey!
And on Boxcast.
look at this setup.
Listen, don't over-explain anything too much. John has to do it.
I gotta do it, yeah.
You have to do what?
He's gonna do the.
Gonna do to be the user.
Oh.
Right.
Nice, man.
Oh, look.
Yeah, John, we're gonna be here,
All right,
as, say we're doing a Bible study or something.
Yes.
We would just be talking,
okay.
and Phil is gonna give us directors. You're gonna tell us what to do. I'm gonna move this closer. So we're just gonna talk, Phil, but you don't have to have the content on the screen match, obviously, what we're talking about.
Okay.
Just practice switching and making sure your audio sounds great, all of that stuff.
Sounds good.
And conveniently, John just on vacation doing something cool, so we have a lot to talk about.
Yeah, there you go. Headphones. I'm in headphones too.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Those headphones have seen better days, but that's okay.
Been used a lot,
Yeah,
well broken in.
they are. Okay, we're live. Great.
Yes.
Good morning, John. Or good
Good
afternoon, I
morning.
guess.
Yeah, well, it depends where you are. I
That's
just
true.
got back from Romania, and there, it would be good late evening.
How long did you just get back from? Like, when did you arrive in Cleveland?
Saturday late. Oh my goodness. So there's a 7 hour
It's
time
basically a
difference.
full day, essentially.
Full day, I would even say full day plus. So 7 hour time difference.
Okay.
Woke up at 5:30 in Bucharest
Okay.
to get over to the airport.
Where's Bucharest?
Romania.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's, I think, capital, I think.
Okay.
But it's the big city.
Cool.
So, where the airport is too.
Mhm.
So woke up at 5:30 to get up, get to the airport, get through security, all of that. Flight to Paris,
Mhm.
short layover.
Mhm.
Flight to Chicago.
That's a big airport too.
It's
Charles de Gaulle.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is a pretty cool airport too.
Yeah.
And I got to compare it directly with Chicago,
Mhm.
and I liked Charles de Gaulle a whole
Yeah.
lot more than Chicago. Chicago kind of didn't have it have its act together.
Which Chicago one? The main one?
Yeah.
Not Midway.
Right.
Yeah.
Not Midway.
Yeah.
So everything was going great. Got to Chicago at 3:30,
Okay.
right? And I still had to drive home
Oh man.
because I chose to take my flight out of Chicago, save a few bucks leaving out of here.
Uh-huh.
So I got there at 3:30. I'm like, oh, it's gonna be no problem getting the car, go home. First thing I did is I forgot my headphones on the airplane, and I realized it right when I stepped like 2 feet past the security person, and I'm like, can I go get my headphones? She's like, nope. I'm like, great. So
It's terrible.
it was. Went out. It took 45 minutes to get my luggage.
Oh my gosh.
All of us were just waiting, and you could tell, like, in everybody's eyes, like every minute that went by, we saw like the percentage of our luggage arriving going down.
Yeah.
But it finally did.
Okay.
So I got our luggage. Then I had to go to the Air France desk
Uh-huh.
and say, hey, I lost my headphones. And she's like, well, we'll have somebody look for it, and they can bring it to you if they find it. And I'm like,
Okay.
don't say if they find it, because
Mhm.
it was right there.
I know what seat I was in.
Yeah, exactly. But then she came back right away on the walkie-talkie and said they did find it. I went, great. They said that they're busy. I'm like, okay, I'll go downstairs and meet them. And I went down there, couldn't go back in the doors to where they were, and I just sat on the ground for another hour, waiting for them to bring my headphones out. So that took a bunch of time.
Oh my gosh.
Then parked my car at my friend's house.
Okay.
So called up Uber. I'm like, okay, we're done. I'm just gonna get Uber and go over to my friend's house.
Right.
I saw the Uber driver a half a mile away, half a mile,
Huh?
0.5
It's not
from the
far.
airport, and it said 25 minutes. And I'm like, no possible way. So I'm like, grab my stuff. I get out there by the curb, and I'm looking, and it's just like a solid line of cars coming up, and I'm looking at him, and he's not moving.
Oh
And
no.
so after about 10 minutes, I'm like, am I just really going to be half an hour? And I went back inside and
Waited more.
waited more. And when he finally came around, the guy was like, it took me 45 minutes to get here.
Oh my gosh.
So then I got home. And it was 3 a.m. when I pulled into my driveway.
Isn't that a 5-hour drive too?
Yeah, 5.5.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. So add all that up. It was quite the day of traveling. And that's with pretty much everything working properly.
Uh-huh.
That's not like, some of the other teams, one of them sent some pictures from Frankfurt,
Okay.
and their flight had been canceled, and the line for rebooking was like 1 billion people long. and I think they were stuck in the airport like all night.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So my trip, it took that long, and like nothing major went wrong.
Uh-huh.
It was just the way it goes.
You can't predict that. I just had a group of friends who, they weren't even going far. I think they went to San Fran or something.
Yeah.
So domestic flight, one layover,
Yep.
but the first leg was canceled, so they had to rebook, and then they got into the intermediary airport, and then their second leg had been canceled. It was like a whole thing. They
Yeah.
had to keep getting their luggage, and it was, it
Oh,
should have
good.
been like a 6-hour
Right.
endeavor, and ended up being like a day and a half.
An ordeal, which
Yeah.
by that time, they probably could have just like gotten in a car and driven there.
Probably, yeah.
You know?
Do a little road trip down.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep. On the way out, see, and then coming back, I'm like less, it bothers me less, right? Because getting there, you have an event that you're trying to
Right.
get to, and if you're like a day late, that means something. That's important. I lose a day of practice.
Uh-huh.
So going out, the Air France flight, we're like waiting, and there's like a little delay, and then I get a text and an email that says the flight's been delayed. I'm gonna miss my connection, and that that they'll work to rebook it. And I like press a thing, and they're like no options for rebooking. I'm like, here we go.
Oh,
and,
no.
and then right when I like started to call to like get somebody, the person at the desk went over to the PA, and she's like, ignore the emails. We're gonna make it. We're gonna be on time. Ignore them. And I'm like, thank goodness.
Okay.
Yes, and
I
then
don't
they
know
did.
if I trust
Well,
that.
but they did. They got us there, and but I know. But
I feel like, okay.
yeah, give me some proof.
Yeah, man.
Yep. Travel ordeals.
Hmm. Crazy. I almost missed my flight back from London when I was over there for the summer.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Almost missed it.
I did almost miss it.
What happened there?
Well, we had gone out the night before to celebrate the last. I was in a
Yeah.
study abroad program for college,
Okay.
so it was like the last night. Goodbye, everybody.
Right.
So we got in pretty late, and we're mostly packed, but we had to get up at probably 6 a.m. I
Right.
think.
Yeah.
So we probably slept for what, 2.5 hours or something.
Yep.
So we got up too late. First of all, first
Okay.
mistake.
Yep.
Then we got on the train
Yep.
because it's London.
Yep.
Train is slow because it's busy. Everyone's getting on at every stop.
Sure. Delaying it.
Right. So we're like, we're not going to make it to the airport in time. So we boot the train. We get off the train.
Yeah.
We're like, we got to call a taxi.
Yeah. Yeah.
Call
Yeah.
an Uber. It's also super busy on the road.
Yeah.
So like, we were like telling our taxi driver, please, we know you have to follow the law, but you need to scoot because we're gonna not make it. So we get in
Yeah.
line at the airport.
Yeah.
Super busy at the airport.
Of course.
We're not gonna make it to the bag drop in time.
Yep.
So there's this. We're praying in
Yeah.
line. We're like trying to manifest this because we probably got there an hour before, and it's an international flight. And
Yeah.
so,
Just want to be 2 hours.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, a lady comes through the line and is like, "Is anyone on this flight?" And it's ours.
Yeah.
And we're like, "Oh my God, yes, we are." So she takes our bags and she says, "Okay, I'm gonna drop your bags for you, but you need to run to security. Run."
Fantastic. Run.
So we're running.
Right. Run.
Run. And I was traveling with my boyfriend, and
Yeah.
he chose to bring. He loves books, and
Yeah.
there's a million bookstores in London, so
Yeah.
he bought a million books.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
yeah.
his carry-on was just a bag of books. So he's
£1 million.
he's running through the airport with a giant bag of books that's about to explode at any second,
Right.
and then we'd really be screwed. So anyways,
Yeah.
we didn't. It was fine. We made it through security.
Yeah.
We also ran to the gate. We were the last people on the plane,
Yeah.
but we did make it.
You just made it.
We just barely made
There
it.
you go. That's fantastic. Because I've had the other experience of, and I did this to myself. I got to the gate early.
Oh
I'm
man.
like waiting. I'm like, everything's good. I'm gonna go get something to eat. Kind of looking, waiting, and I didn't hear the announcement that they had moved it to a different gate. So I'm like sitting there looking. I'm like, okay, it's starting to get a little late. Like, there's nobody there. And when I went over there, found it was at the wrong gate. They
hate
moved
that.
it. I know. I took off, ran over there, got there like a minute and a half after they closed
the
the door.
door.
And same as walking past the security person,
They're like,
they're,
sorry, we're
they're not
gonna
opening it
open
back up. And I'm like, gotta be kidding me.
That's
You
terrible.
know, and I was there early. I was
Yeah.
there early. Lesson learned.
Lesson learned.
Went into the bank along with the, this was going out to the World Championships on a previous one. When they check my luggage, making sure that it checks through to your final destination, because they didn't check it all the way through. And I got there, I got one bag,
Got the others.
the other bag didn't come out. Yep,
Sad.
yep. So now every single time I'm like, is it going to Ottopenny? And then, oh, yeah, it is.
Are we at 10-ish? Oh, great. Well, that's
12
been
minutes.
Travel
Nice.
troubles with
Yeah,
John.
there you go. Life lessons of traveling.
Life lessons of travel.
Good.
Good. You're buzzing.